Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome back to another live Q&A, Small Engine Nation Live. This is number 9. I know we haven't done one in a very long time. It's been about a month, but I appreciate you guys hanging in there. I know a lot of people had a lot of questions, and I was trying my best to do the answering in the comment section, but I figured that it's kind of we're due for a live Q&A, so I appreciate you guys waiting around for a month. Hold on. I got to mute mine. Again, I'm watching myself right now and also reading the comments on my phone. So if I look down, again, it's basic. I'm just looking at the comments because on StreamYard, it's really slow, but appreciate you guys joining in. Again, changes are coming. I think we are going to be doing live Q&As, either bi-weekly, which is every other week, or on a monthly basis. Doing these are kind of they're finding the time to do them. Doing them is not a problem. Just finding the time to do them is a little bit of a challenge sometimes. So bear with me. I hope this one is a good one, but we'll see. So we'll see who shows up. We'll see who is on right now. I think we got 3 people watching right now. It's great. As long as someone's watching, that's amazing. But we got David join and gave us a $10 super sticker. David, we appreciate that, man. I should be sending you money, but we appreciate your donations. Thank you so much. And that donation will definitely go towards more content creation, everything. Going back to the channel. That's where it's going. Simply Small Engine Repair is here as well. Welcome, Andrew. AJP Garden Machines is here as well. Welcome, AJP. And Dr. LMSB445. Welcome, Doctor. Thank you for joining on here as well. We're going to wait until a few more people join on here. Hopefully everybody got the invitation. Hopefully everybody got the notification. But yeah, hopefully everybody got it. We'll see who joins on here. We'll see what kind of questions we need to answer. Again, we're going to go through the basics like we always do. The questions that I can answer, I will. There are some questions people have asked me that are just wild, and I have no idea. Like, what's the valve clearance on this? What's the valve clearance on that? I have no idea. So, if you're trying to get specifics, you're going to have to Google them. But, we appreciate you guys with business questions, with simple questions, simple repair questions, anything that has to do with, you can even share with us how your day has been, what you've accomplished, what you've repaired. For those of you, I'm going to ask right now, what have you guys been repairing? What have you guys been working on? What kind of struggles what kind of problems have you ran into as far as small engine repair? We're not talking about live problems, but if you want to talk about life problems, email me. We'll talk. But if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comment section down below. We're going to answer them accordingly, and we'll try to not skip any. I know there's been some lives where we've skipped some, but hopefully we won't skip any this live. But Andrew with a $4 super chat. Hey, man. Hey, how you doing, Andrew? Thank you for that. And welcome back, Andrew. If you guys don't know already, Andrew is back. So go and check his channel out if you haven't already. If you haven't subscribed to him, subscribe to him right now. He's got a lot of content on the way, and he's already recorded a bunch of content. So great man right there. We actually did a few lives. So if you guys want to go back, we've did a few lives together. So check that out. Check his content out. Make sure to give him a like and comment on his videos as well. So thank you for that, Andrew. Stephen Doolittle is here, says hi. How you doing, Stephen? Mowers and Blowers Outdone. Rich is here as well. How you doing? Let's see. Andrew says, I got that generator that the district broke off in seized engine. Oh, the dipstick broke off. Okay. Oh, wow. So what do they want you to fix it or what? With the seized engine, are you doing a motor swap? What are you doing with it? Yeah, as far as me, we've been busy. I got around 30 lawns for the week to mow. So if you guys don't know already, full-time lawn care business, and then the small engine repairs on the side. But we've been going heavy with lawn care and mowing lawns, and we bag all of our clippings, so we have to make dump runs every time we finish our route. So kind of gets a little bit of a hassle, a little bit, you know, of a headache sometimes. The last thing you want to do is repair engines after you've mowed 10 lawns, during the day. So it gets a little bit of a struggle for me, but we've plowed through it. We tuned up 2 mowers yesterday, and I also am working on a John Deere S180, I believe, either a 118 or 180, one of those 2 models. We're doing a full tune-up. Oh, I'm doing a full tune-up on it, and it's in a very nasty condition. It was sitting outside, and all of the rats and mice made nests underneath the deck and on top of the deck and in every crevice and every little spot they can. So I have to clean the whole thing out. I am going to be charging this guy a little bit extra for a cleaning. I'm going to be charging him a cleaning fee just because of how much things I have to do before I even work on it. I have to clean the whole thing, get off all the grass clippings, all the sticks and needles and everything before I proceed to work on it. So yeah, keep that in mind. If you're going to be tuning up a machine, but taking, half hour to take out all this grass, then you should be charging them a little bit extra. That's just my opinion. But, Andrew says, you have to take engine apart and remove the part. Nice. What's seized inside the engine? Was it the piston? Did the camshaft snap? Or not the camshaft, the connecting rod. I'm assuming it snapped. But yeah, if you guys got any questions, also, if you guys would like, you can go ahead and share this stream as well. If you don't mind, share it with all of your Facebook friends, share it on Instagram, share it on Twitter if you have Twitter. Share this. We got to get more people on here. We got questions to answer. And I don't know, it might be a short one. Who knows? Well, what we do is, you have no idea, Andrew. Okay. Yeah. Usually we have a lot of people on here and we answer a lot of questions, and we extend it out to an hour of just answering questions. And then I switch the other hour for just chat, invite you guys. If you guys want to jump on, we could talk, but we might be able to get that in earlier if nobody has any questions. Well, I tell you what, no, this has been good. I've been cute. As long as I am busy, as long as I am helping people out on YouTube with my video content, with my creations, this is just extra, doing these live Q&As is just extra on top, like icing on top of the cake. So, all right, Tyler is on here. He said, I'll be in and out tonight, my friend, but good to see y'all. All right, Tyler, sounds good. All right, first question of the day. Here we go. Laziki, hopefully I said that right. Good afternoon. Any advice on locating parts for older tools? Example, Echo chainsaw from 1988. Yeah, you could still find diagrams. Surprisingly, I found a diagram for that Briggs & Stratton motor that was manufactured in 1963. I think you guys have seen that before. Sears Parts Direct had the diagram or all the parts breakdown on Sears Parts Direct for that Briggs & Stratton motor. And I was surprised. Oh, no. Sorry, it wasn't Sears Parts Direct. It was, I think it was Parts Tree. Yeah, excuse me. It was Parts Tree. They had the diagram from 1963. So I don't know, someone must have found it and uploaded it, but it was really old. You could barely see it, but all the part numbers were written down perfectly clear. So Parts Tree, there's e-replacement parts. All you have to do is type in the model number of the chainsaw on Google and type in parts diagram or parts, and you should be able to locate a parts diagram for that saw. So Yeah, they're out there. You just have to find them. Like some older equipment I can't find parts for. There's no diagrams, no nothing on them. Some Chinese knockoff engines, you won't be able to find diagram or parts breakdowns on them. So it's all kind of a swing and a miss on what is out there and what is not. So, but locating parts, Google for sure. But just make sure to type in your model number and then parts diagram after that. Oh, okay. When you jump on my stream, you'll show what I'm okay. Sounds good, Andrew. Anybody else got any questions? Oh. Steve's Small Engine Saloon. How you doing, Steve? Do you think it's a good idea to sand the rust off the flywheel to get better spark? Well, of course. I mean, you trying to trick me, Steve? Yeah, sand the spark or sand the rust off the flywheel to get better spark. I don't know about better spark, but to get the best spark, yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem, Lazik. Or oh man, that your name is very hard to pronounce. Laziki. Hopefully I said that right. Hard-earned bacon. I've seen you around, man. I've seen you. He says haven't caught a stream for quite a while. Yeah, it's been quite some time since I went live doing one of these live Q&As. I think last month, or number 8 was last like I don't know, 28 days ago or something like that, but I was looking back at it. I'm like, well, I've been doing live Q&As, but I haven't done one in a while, so I figured I'd do one. See if anybody had any questions. If there are no questions, I mean, we'll extend this out to however long we need to, usually about an hour. But if there are no questions, we can cut this kind of short and go to send out the invite link and get some people on here. But we'll still wait. I think it's way too early, so we'll still wait on it. Matt's Small Engines. How you doing, Matt? He says, hey, Phil, I replaced a carburetor on a Husqvarna aerator. Oh, aerator? You mean that right there? Yeah. So those are nice. I mean, what kind of motor was it? Was it a Briggs & Stratton? I'm assuming it was a Briggs & Stratton because usually that's what you see on them, but who knows? Could be a Kohler too. Well, Matt, if you got any questions, I know you've been working in the shop. So, yeah, Andrew says I don't have aerator in my area. I don't think you need. I don't think anybody has any good grass there in Arizona. Okay, sorry. Oh, Matt says I think it was a Briggs. Hard-earned bacon says one thing. I was wondering, are you worried about small engine work slowing down as battery-powered equipment gets better and more popular? Obviously, blades will always need to be sharpened, but carb work, and there's a continuation. We'll wait on that. Go ahead, and if you have, I think there's going to be a part 2 on that one, but or not, maybe not. But if you're still typing, I'll start answering your question. I actually did a podcast episode, and it's coming out next week, and it's entitled "The Future of Small Engine Repair." And I talk about the possibility of, in the United States, I talk about the possibility of EPA just shutting down everything petrol, everything gas, and converting to battery operated electric. Again, just a guess. I have no idea what's going to be in 2040, but that's a very good question. And I just spoke about the topic. I mentioned that, there's still going to be things that need to get done. Let's just say, for example, you take a zero-turn riding mower or a zero-turn lawnmower. commercial. It doesn't even need to be commercial. You still got the transmission, you still got the belts, you still got the blades, the spindles, you still got what else? What else is on there? Cleaning off underneath the deck. There's still maintenance that needs to be done to the mower itself. Well, the batteries need to be charged. The batteries need to be load tested. There's things that you can still do on battery operated electric equipment. So maintenance is still going to be a factor. It's just removal of the engine. There's going to be no carburetor cleanings, no valve adjustments. There's going to be no engine rebuilds. I'm happy for that, but I know for a fact performance, as far as performance goes, we understand that nothing beats gas. I think we all put our hands down. Nothing beats gas. The battery operated mowers are still weak. They don't give off much power. The ones that do, the batteries die quickly and you need to upgrade the battery, and that still won't help. So, but I still feel like shops will stay busy. They just won't have to worry about engines, which is a good thing to some, bad thing for others. So it might slow down some shops, but commercial clients are still going to have grass to mow, and they're still going to need their equipment maintenance. So for those of you that have contracts with contractors or with landscapers, you're still going to be waiting, or you're still going to be getting the part or the mowers in, the chainsaws in, the trimmers in, even though they're going to be battery operated and cordless corded or internal batteries or whatever. But you guys kind of get the gist of it. That's what my opinion is as far as slow battery operated equipment slowing down shops. But, hey, how you doing, Casey Bullington? He says, hello, Small Engine Nation. How you doing, Casey? Matt says, I'm getting into ATVs and big small engines. They won't go to batteries for a long time. Yeah, I know. Again, you never know what's going to happen in 2040. It might be 2050, 2060. Who knows? But we'll see what happens in the future. What is the best way to stripe a lawn? Oh, you want me to talk about lawn care on a Small Engine Nation live or Small Engine live? I said small engine repair questions, but I will chime in on this. Best way to stripe a lawn? I use rubber mats that I have mounted to the deck of my zero turn, and they're like flaps. They're like truck flaps, mud flaps, and I bolted them down to the bottom of my deck. And when I go on my zero turn, it leaves really good stripes. So I would never spend like what, $150, $200 for a set of rollers, like OEM rollers that mount to that Hustler. No way. They're like $7 to $8 each for this mat. And I had to cut the mat in 3, mounted it, works perfect. So for $7, I might actually do a video on that, but I know it's kind of not small engine related, kind of is. It's more of a lawn care, but let's see. Oh, Joe Sharar, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Says probably all be direct drive blades. Yeah, that's a possibility. Steve Small Engine Sleuth says, I'm still waiting for a Tesla motorcycle. You got to get the truck first. Next mower's on here. Says, yo, hi, everyone. Just about to start work, but we'll pop in and out. All right, that's awesome, Mick. Welcome, and thank you for popping in. We got Savage Small Engine. I hope it's Savage. It could be Savage, but I'm thinking it's Savage Small Engine Repair. Hopefully I said that right. All right, yeah, welcome. I've seen you around. I've seen you in a few of my, you've commented on a few of my videos, but thank you for joining. And if you have any questions, if any of you have any questions, people that are just hopping on right now, we would gladly be able to answer them. These questions could be questions on machines that you're working right now. So if you have problems fixing something that you're working on right now in the shop and you're just frustrated and you join my live, or you're just you're done for the evening and you can't find answers, ask the questions right now. This is the perfect time. This is the live stream where you ask questions. And we have so many mechanics on here. We got amazing mechanics, a lot of mechanics on here that are willing to help you with your problems, with your questions. I'm willing to help you as best as I can. So if you have any type of questions, feel free to ask them, and we will definitely answer them. So with that being said, I always have to say that I know there's a lot of people that pop in late and don't hear what I'm saying. So that's why. Harder Bacon says, I agree. Just carbs are 80% of what my repairs are. So it seems like the work would slow down. I just flip stuff though. No customer contracts. Yeah. So that's like me. That's 80%. Like I deal with customers. I do a minor flipping usually in the winter time, but I mainly deal with customers. I don't do contracts. 80% of the time is carb work, carb cleans, carb replacements, carb this, carb that, carb this. And if that goes away, then yes, that's a majority of what's going to go away. But what's going to replace it? Now, 80% has to be replaced with something. I'm assuming it's going to be blade sharpens and chain sharpens. I mean, people are going to be paying top dollar, like $50 to get their blade sharpened on a zero turn, or $50 for a chainsaw for a chain sharpening, because that's the only thing that's basically the 80% of what we're going to do in the future for our repairs. So we ain't going to be charging $8 per chain anymore. It's going to be more like $20 to $30 per chain. So you kind of, get what we're getting into. I got to be prepared for it, think about it, and see, what I would want to see what anybody else's opinion is on that. But future small engine repair, that podcast episode's coming out next week. Enjoy it. Let's see. Okay, just a lot. I got to go back up. Yeah, Steven says, Phil, even if they go to electric, you still can rebuild them. It's just different. Exactly. I mean, well, yeah. If they go electric, to remove the engine, it's going to be batteries, a lot of wiring. So a lot of electrical parts for sure. KC Bullington says, frustrated with brakes on my truck. Oh, hey, if we have any people that like to repair trucks, I don't do much truck repair, only on my own trucks, but I don't get into automotive repair. Usually it's small engines most of the time. All right, KB, sounds good. Hey, guys, still working, but popping in and dropping a like. Amazing. Hey, if you guys haven't liked the video, liked the stream already, go ahead and smash the like button. We would highly appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for everyone that does. We only got 9 likes. Are you kidding me? Everybody hit that like button, man. It would definitely help us out. We would appreciate that. But don't forget to do that before you leave or whatever. Like KB says, popping in, dropping a like. Who knows if he's going to come back or not, but I know he's going to be sticking around here because a lot of good people on here. Let's see. Mick says, question, suitcase generator. Why do they make them so small? Oh, big hands don't make it easy. Because they want you to take apart everything to get to one little thing, to get to the carburetor, to get to the spark plug. They need to take off all the panels. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. But let's see. Chris Lazicki. He says, oh, okay, I fixed my display name. Okay, Chris. Chris is easier to say than your other one, but I appreciate that. He says, I fixed my display name. What about choosing a brand of digital tachometer for tuning small engines? I currently do not own one. Should I buy an Amazon special or look locally for a brand name? If you have a Steel dealer around them, they could possibly order you a Steel EDT8. I love my Steel EDT8. It's amazing. No wires, no nothing. You just point it at the spark plug and it gives you an RPM reading. I know there's a lot with like clip-ons or wraparounds, but I love the ones where you just point at it and it gives you a reading. Steel EDT8. Look it up. That's my recommendation for you, Chris. I know a lot of people say, oh, get the Echo, get this, get that. Me, I just love the Steel EDT8. I've been always using it as a tech, and now I use it as a mechanic in my own shop. So yeah, Andrew says I hate suitcase inverters. They make them so compact for a reason. Let's see. Oh, Steve says, Mick, just get Riley to take the carb off for you. Yeah, get Riley boy to do it. Matt's got a question here. He says, do you think snowblowers will go battery? I haven't seen any in my area. I've seen a lot. We got a brand name called Ego and Snow Joe. These two brands are pushing each other around when it comes to wintertime battery operated snowblowers. Oh, we're the best. We're the best. We're 58 volts. We're 60 volts. And they're like going head to head. They're trash. They're completely garbage. The batteries do not last. They will do this much snow and that's about it. And it has to be powder. If you're talking about like anything 8 to 12 inches, that Snow Joe ain't gonna push nothing. I'm serious. Like I've tried one and the batteries die so fast you have to buy 2 or 3 batteries, and depending on how big your driveway is and if you have sidewalks, just get a gas operated snowblower. That's when I worked at retail, I told people just get a gas. Don't get battery, nothing, unless it's a blower or something else that's easy. That's, you use it for a minute or so and that's about it. So, but yeah, I've seen them around. I don't know. They got to improve their game though for snowblowers for sure. All right, Casey, you take care, man. Have a great day. David says, I don't want to see another Craftsman chainsaw again after I get these done. They are nasty. Oh, man. You love those. I'll send my Craftsman chainsaws your way, David. You are the master mechanic when it comes down to Craftsman chainsaws. But no, I personally do not like working on Craftsman Chinesium chainsaws either. Craftsman, Poland, they're all the same. They're all designed, same company. Makes them same design, same carburetor styles. They're not good machines for sure. I run my steel all day. I love working on steel. When I see something trash come in like that into my shop, I really want to deny it. But sometimes you can't do that. You can't just say, no, I don't want to repair this. No, I don't want to repair that, unless it's completely garbage and you just tell them it's not worth fixing. But yeah. I don't like working on them either, David. So I get you. Oh, okay. Rich says, we don't like you, Phil. We love you, brother. Change it from like to love. All right. I love you guys too. Small engine guy, how you doing? Welcome in. Savage Small Engine Service and Repair says, is there a way to jack up a zero-turn mower to change the hydraulic drive pumps? Something besides jack stands or a chain lift. So to jack up a zero turn to change the hydraulic drive pumps, and you don't want to use jack stands or chain lift. So you got to, jack stands work the best. Just get a pump jack, pump it up, throw jack stands under it, and you can change out the pumps. Unless you have like a lift table, you could do that, but I don't think you have one. I think that's the best way to do it, would be pump jack and jack stands. I know it kind of sucks, but that's how most people come by. All right. Hey, John Kane. I don't think I've seen you on here, but welcome. It says Johnny Kane's Little Engine Repair in Dublin. Love the show. I appreciate it, John. Thank you so much. You got a like there. I'm reminding everybody to hit that like button. Don't forget about that. Really helps us out. Excuse me. Oh, yes, I have, Joe. He says, did y'all see all the new big inverter predator generators from Dennis Tools? I'm waiting until someone buys one and completely disassembles it and see what the internals are. Maybe there's a video out already, but I haven't seen anyone take it apart yet. So probably Chinese engines. I mean, what else could it be? Yeah, Matt says, I get lots and lots of snow. Gas is better in all ways. Exactly. Mowers and Mowers Done says, my dad, my buddy at work has an Ego chainsaw. It's fantastic. Push mower is awesome. Also, he says, yeah, for like minor things, if you're going to be using something for, a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, battery is the way to go. But if you need it for the whole day, no way. Get a gas operated machine. So Andrew says, Savage, you can use a forklift. Yeah, just go buy a $20,000 forklift to lift that zero turn mower. That's funny. Andy Brooks, how you doing, my friend? Welcome. He says, I get tired of rebuilding Steel BR600 blowers. It's just me, but steel oil is junk. Always got too much carbon on exhaust valve, no compression. So are you running 40-1 or 50-1? Because I know those little cans usually make a 50-1 mix. So if you're running a little bit richer, then you're going to get more carbon buildup. So if you think about it, I run 50-1. I've been running 50-1 my whole life. I've never ran 40-1. I've never ran more than 50-1, which I wouldn't recommend. But I've always ran 50-1 in my steel equipment. I've been running my steel equipment for 5 years now, and it still has the same. A little bit under, but it still starts right away. No problems whatsoever. Never bogs down. I keep it well maintained, and I run 50-1, and I have no issues with any scoring, with any carbon buildup. Naturally, the carbon does build up. Sometimes you have to burn off the muffler screens, and you notice it on the spark plug, but I never have any issues running 50-1 the way they designed it to run. So Steel doesn't design it to run 40-1, which you can mix it to a 40-1 ratio, but they've made their oil specifically to a 50-1 standard, and you can run it to their standards and it won't harm your machine. So I don't know if it's the oil. It could be the oil. Again, it's all opinionated. Like some people say, oh, I swear by Opti. Oh, I swear by Sabre. Some people say, I swear by Steel HP Ultra. I like Steel HP Ultra. I've always been using it. It never gave me any problems. So, because I've always followed how they want me to mix it. So I mix it the way they want me to, and I've never had any issues. So that's just me again. Yeah. Andy, yeah, do you use Amsoil? Is that the Sabre, Andrew? Andy Burke says 51 steel, I repair stuff, but landscapers I know use the silver oil. I rebuild one a month for my landscapers. They're trashing their machines in less than a month? Wow. I use the silver. So there's the silver and the orange, and they're actually getting rid of the orange one and moving on to the HP Ultra. So that's the full synthetic, biodegradable, yada, yada. But the silver ones are the HP Ultras. That's what I run. I run my BR700 heavily as well. I have no issues with it. So maybe they're just mixing it super rich. I would literally take out their gas and look at the color. I bet you it's dark green. And if it's dark green, it's over mix. It's not a 50-1 mix. So I know for you, Andy, you put a 50-1 mix in there, they'll come back with probably like a 30-1 or something like that. So, super, overly mixed, I guess you can say. So, DNR says battery stuff I hate. I don't mind working on battery stuff as long as it's something simple and the unit still works. Savage says, Andrew, can I store the forklift at your place? I only have a one-car stall to do my repairs. Can you run, Casey asks, can you run synthetic oil in a riding lawnmower? Is it recommended? So I guess yes. I mean, I've never got into. I'll be honest. I've never got into like seeing which oil is better for this. Um, like currently I'm running a full synthetic, but it's a Briggs and Stratton full synthetic 5W30 oil in my zero turn in my Hustler on my Kawasaki FR 691V engine. It's running good, but I think that it's burning quickly because I'm noticing that my oil level is just dropping just a little bit. So, but I've never looked into it. Like if you should run full synthetic, if you should run this, I always look at what's recommended by the manufacturer, by the engine manufacturer. Just read up on that. So that's just my 2 cents. You asked, Andy Brooks asks if I know what happened to Robert Waters. He's more than likely slammed with work. He's still around. His channel name is called Built Over Bot, and hopefully it's still on. He hasn't joined my stream for a long time. Well, I haven't made any streams, but I think a few streams back he has joined. So this year he has joined. So if you haven't talked to him this year, he's still around, but I'm not sure about this month. But if he's just hiding, or we should call it just not around on YouTube land, then he's more than likely just slammed busy. But hopefully he's okay. If he is, if something happened to him, hopefully he's okay. But Jimmy Pop says, I just worked on 2 steel electric chainsaws yesterday. The one came in with the chain on backwards, and the other just needed to be taken apart and cleaned. Nice. That's cool. I've worked on plenty of them. More than likely, it's just to blow out take the bar casing off, blow it out, and sharpen the chain, put it back together, clean the oiler holes on the bars, and fill it with bar oil, and that's about the best you can do on a electric chainsaw. Charge the battery. Small Engine Doc says, what's the difference between 4-cycle spark plugs? What do you mean by that? Are you talking about what brands or what heat range? Difference in what? Andrew says he probably had what I had. Sometimes you don't have the time to update and it sucks. Yeah, we get so busy. Like me, I just started making more content, but I was running low on my queue. So I had to go a couple days back and make a few videos for you guys so that way I could upload them later down in the future. But right now with April starting and lawn mowing season starting, I've just been slammed with lawns to mow, with cleanups, with sprinkler startups. So people are calling me left and right, and it's been a real hectic week for sure. So last week we started mowing. This week we're starting to turn on people's sprinklers. So people are calling left and right. I just answered your question, Doctor. Just saying. Oh, okay. Yeah, Andrew says, because you don't know, but fans care about you and your channel no matter how big it is. Yeah, just look at Double White 6, Bob. Look at him. He hasn't uploaded in like 2 months almost. And people were like, where's Bob? Where's Bob? Where's this? Where's Bob? He's not uploading. And then he wrote on a community post, he's like, hey, just letting you know that, things have been busy, family, this and that. I'm still around, I'm still alive, everything's good. So he was just keeping us updated. But people cared for him, People know who starts to go, under the trees, kind of hiding, but they're not doing it on purpose. They're just super busy with life. So things come up, but that's what we're here for. We care for each other. I hope that, if I ever stay busy, I'll definitely notify you guys. But, who knows what life, when life can hit you hard and you can lose everything, and then have nowhere to go. And, Sometimes you can give up on YouTube or have no access to it, or Google will delete your YouTube account, and then what would happen? So I think about those things, but you never know what could happen. So Matt Small Engines says, what's the most effective way to sharpen a chainsaw chain? Is it by hand or grinding wheel? Grinding wheel for customers, grinding wheel plus by hand for yourself. Like if you want a nice, crisp, sharp chain, you do the grinding wheel first, and then you do it by hand. You can get away for your clients just to do grinding wheel. You can get a good edge on them. But if you're doing it for yourself, you take your time, go by hand after you do the grinding wheel just to kind of give it that little more oomph. And that's just my recommendation. But like shop speed, if you charge like $8 to sharpen a chain, you better get through that thing quick or you're going to be losing money. So that's why people do grinding wheel. Nobody's going to sit there and do it by hand. But if people want it done by hand, like say a customer comes in and says, hey, I want these chains sharpened, but I want them sharpened by hand only, by file. So you say, okay, I can charge you, I usually charge $8 to do it on a grinding wheel. But since you want them to do by hand, I'll charge you an hourly rate. And then take the rate that say you worked for 45 minutes and you charge $65, you'll charge him $45 for all of his chains or chain, depending on how long it'll take you. So 23 people on here. Make sure to hit that like button. We definitely appreciate it. If you got any questions, leave your questions in the comments down below. We have tons of mechanics on here that will answer any type of questions. I love when people chime in. I love when people say I'm wrong. But I love when people state their own opinions in the comments, guys. If I don't know the answer to the question, there's a lot of mechanics on here that do. So hopefully we can settle it out if you have any type of questions today. So let's see. John Kane says, hi, have you any advice on how to prioritize your small engine repair? Prioritize it. Well, that's a loaded question, but I'll try to simplify it. Take on machines that for a fact are easy money, easy tune-ups. Don't take on machines that are going to cause you a headache. Take on machines that you feel comfortable repairing. And also make sure to have common parts in stock, like common spark plugs, common air filters, common fuel filters, hose clamps, starter rope, fuel line. Have all those things in stock, just because if you don't, you're going to be running around here and there, or you're going to be ordering off Amazon, waiting a week while the customer's waiting for the machine to get repaired. So that's how you kind of prioritize it in a way. Hopefully I answered that question correctly, but if you have any other questions, John, you can definitely ask me. But that's how I would kind of prioritize small engine repair, what I would do. Bob the Builder 01 says, has anyone tried Aspen 2-stroke fuel? I was looking at ordering some to try. Aspen 2-stroke fuel. Let me see if I've ever seen it around. I know I haven't used it. Aspen fuel. Yeah, I have never seen that. Let me see here. I'm going to open it up for everyone to see what Aspen is. So Aspen, it's for air-cooled 2-stroke engines. I have never seen this. I don't know. Has anyone else seen this kind of oil? Or no, this would be fuel. So this is already a premixed. Yeah, we don't have this in our state. What we have is called True Fuel or Moto Mix. That's what we use for a premixed fuel. So I think it's overpriced. Most of these premixed fuels are really overpriced, so I'd recommend just making your own. Small Engine Doc says, what do you charge for 4-cycle and 2-cycle tune-ups? Hey, I'm very transparent with you guys. I think a lot of you know. This year's prices I should have increased, but I didn't. It's okay. I will increase them next year. That's fine. 55 for 2-cycle and 65 for 4-cycle. I think it was 85 for generators and then 125 for riding mowers, 175 for 0 turns. So those are kind of my price points there. Yeah, Built Overbot's still around. He's still around here. Oh, okay. Is it a Canadian fuel? Is it a Canadian thing that we don't see in our states, in the United States? Yeah, Small Doc says, Andrew says, it all depends on brand, not the cycle. Man up, I'm working out of a shed, mostly outside. Oh, is someone talking about being cold? Oh, okay. Yeah, Andrew was saying, depending on where you at, focus on equipment first and get those out first and toys last. Matt says, I use Aspen 2 fuel. I use it all the time at work. Yeah, it's probably a Canadian type of fuel because we have True Fuel around in our state. It's a very common pre-mixed fuel that every store sells. So True Fuel, I guess, is the same thing as Aspen fuel. But David says, "Oh, Craftsman bad. It bought me money. They're junk. I'll take Honda any day. Yeah, Hondas are good mowers for sure. Chainsaw. Chainsaws. If Honda made a chainsaw, that'd be amazing. Do they make chainsaws? I don't think Honda makes chainsaws, but if they made yeah, they're definitely better mowers than Craftsman mowers nowadays. All right, let's see. James Hayton, Lawnmower Man in Indiana. Hey, how you doing, James? Welcome to the live stream. We've been on. Oh wow, it's been 47 minutes already. Wow. Yeah, we're almost at that time where we can send out the link and have some of you guys join if you want to. Small Engine Doc says, you are a goat. Thanks, man. I am 16 years old. That's been in the business for about a month. Oh, awesome, man. I hope you continue. Don't ever give up, man. If you have something that you have a question about, always feel free to email me. I try my best to answer everybody's emails, but if you want to reach me fast, leave a comment on one of my videos. I will get to you really quick because I get notifications on my phone for any YouTube comments. I see them all. So if you have any comments or if you have any questions, leave them on this video, my recent uploaded video. It don't matter. Leave your questions on there. I'll definitely answer them. So, yeah, if you have any questions, Small Engine Doc, that would be, let me know because I'll definitely do my research and answer them precisely. But man, I'm so glad that this younger generation, Matt's, Small Engine Doc, you guys are getting into small engine repair. I was one of you guys, but I started at a really young age. I was like 12 when I first was tuning up my own mower because I had to. I was doing like lawn care on the side, and I had a push mower and a FS45 weed whacker, and I had to do it all by myself. I couldn't afford to go to a shop to have them tune up my equipment. And I understood that the air filter needed to be replaced or cleaned. The spark plug needed to be replaced on a yearly basis. And also the blade needed to be sharpened. The weed whacker string needed to be rewounded. Also the air filter, spark plug, the oil needed to be changed on the mower. And I knew all that at 12 years old. So I was like, I had some experience in small engine repair at a very young age. So when I started transitioning it into like 16, 17, 18, trying to find a job, I jumped into a great position as a shop manager, and they didn't have anyone else. They really needed one, so they gave the position to me. And I took over at 18, managing shop, answering all the calls, selling all the steel equipment, doing all the steel warranties, doing warranties for Toro, Briggs, Kohler, I was doing all the tests that I could, got all my certifications, and it was like loaded on me. Everything was on my shoulders. Had equipment that was from 3, 4, 5 years ago that still hasn't been repaired by the old mechanic. I kind of gave up. So I I was loaded on, and I took it all on, and we turned it around from a 2-month turnaround time to like a 2-day turnaround time. It was insane. So, a great accomplishments if you're young, because all this revolves around your mind. The more you work on a small engine, or the more you repair small engines instead of playing video games or going and drinking, smoking, partying, whatever you do that obliterates and destroys your mind. The more you focus on small engines, the more your mindset will kind of develop, and then you'll learn a lot more in this field of work, and then you can go and get a job, open your business like you, Small Engine Doc, did, or get a job like Matt's. There's no wrong way or right way of getting into this trade. People, if you want to open up a business, sure, go ahead, open up a business. If you want to work as a mechanic, get into a shop, and work for someone else, because you never know what kind of opportunity you'll get at a shop. Also, you'll never know what kind of opportunity you'll get owning your own business. So they both have their advantages. They both have their disadvantages. KB says, I believe it's a newer thing, at least in the States. Gardner is really pushing it for their distributors. Yeah, I've never seen it around here. Not in Washington State. John says it's sold in Europe. Slot contractors use it a lot, so guys don't get the mix wrong. Aspen. Yeah, we carry a bottle of True Fuel. Toro makes pre-mixed fuel, if you guys didn't know. They have cans. And also, obviously, steel. But Toro makes their own pre-mixed fuel. Pre-mixed and straight gas. Obviously, it's super expensive. I can't believe, who would buy this? The only reason I buy pre-mixed fuel and a straight can of fuel is for emergency purposes. Like when you are out of your gas cans and a customer's coming to pick up their machine that day, you go and you don't have any gas in your, obviously no gas in your gas cans. You use that emergency fuel to get the machine running, to get them on their way. And then you go and, do your business with getting fuel and doing your ratios. So yeah, I use that as emergency fuel. I never use it to actually run in my equipment. That's just way too expensive. But yeah, Matt says, my plan is to get certified and slowly open my business. That's great, man. That's good. I hope you continue. I hope you continue. I hope you stay motivated in repairing small engine, because it's a great field. It can be a headache sometimes, but with small engines, you can start with small engines. You can slowly get into ATVs, UTVs, and then you can maybe get into, smaller tractors, and that'd be great. Kind of transition yourself into bigger engines, and then start dealing with, 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, whatever, and, transition into something else if you really wanted to. So there's a lot of opportunity when you start small repairing engines. Let's see. Mowers and Blowers Rich says, you build any fun toy stuff with engines? Good story about one or two. Kind of. I know I've modified a few engines, kind of modified it my way, made a racing mower, not a racing mower, just a drag mower, pulley swapped them and got it up to 20 miles per hour, which is nice, but it's very sketchy. I don't get into that much of a building mowers or building mud mowers or anything like that. That's just not me. I like to repair them. I think go-karts are there for a reason. So I would not want to go 35 on a riding mower with no suspension components. That's a little sketchy. So, all right, I'll send the link right now. It's 54. We will still answer you guys' questions. If you have any, leave the questions in the comments down below, but I will send out the invite link. This is where you guys can join the, click on the invite link. It'll lead you to the StreamYard. Just get set up. If you're using mobile, try to turn on auto rotate on your phone and rotate your phone to landscape mode so we can see you vertical instead of or horizontal instead of vertical. Just a quick tip for you guys there. there's the link if you want to. If you're on a computer, it's just much easier. Just click the link and follow through, and we'll join on here. Anything, if this stream just gets a little bit out of hand, or if you get out of hand, you'll definitely be kicked from the stream. So without any further delay, there is the stream. Whoops. Let me try to pin that as the comment. Okay. Our first guest is Andrew. Can you hear us okay?
Hang on 1 second.
Yeah, if anybody else wants to join, click on that link and we can get you up here. And we can chat about small engines. We can, talk about problems. We can talk about your questions regarding small engine repair, small engine business. So it's that time. If you want to, you don't have to. No one's pressuring you to click on the link. But if you do, go ahead and do so. And we can talk face to face. How you doing, Andrew?
Hey, pretty good. Hey, you want me to show you what I was talking about? So I got this Honda here, and it's seized up. And the problem is that this broke off, and it's jammed somewhere in the engine.
My guess is the connecting rod snapped. That's just my guess, and it's seized in there. But
yeah, because he said after this broke off, it ran, and then it wouldn't run again.
Yeah, it ran, and all the oil came out.
No. This is a dipstick, right? It's normally about this much longer. This piece of plastic broke off.
Oh,
and fell into the engine. No. And now that piece of the dipstick is jammed up in there somewhere.
Wow.
So I told him, hey, minimum $250 because it's an inverter.
Oh man, those things are.
So I have
those things are not fun.
So yeah, that's going to be one of my videos. It's going to be a long ass video because I gotta completely dismantle this whole thing.
Now you're taking that back, right? You're not doing that mobile.
Oh yeah, no, I'm mobile.
Oh, you're full mobile now?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, no overhead that way.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess it works.
If you're going to be taking that apart, man, how long is that going to take you?
Probably an hour or two.
To take it apart and let them know what's going on with it?
Yeah. I'll make a video on it. Hey, what's up, Tyler?
How's it going?
How you doing, Tyler?
Another paradise, fellas.
That's right. Yeah, I want to know how long that'll take you too. Tom says, how long will it take to repair that?
I'm thinking about 2 hours, 3 hours max. I don't know. It could be longer. All I gotta do is pull the engine off and then find that piece. Unless something else is busted in there. But it's going to be an interesting video to see how a little piece of plastic stopped the whole engine from working.
I'm just wondering how. Like, how can that what would that plastic? Where would it be jammed to stop? Because
that's what I'm wondering too.
Everything's so precisely machined.
I know, and especially aluminum versus plastic. I mean, it should have just disintegrated it. So I'm gonna, it's a mystery. I got to find out exactly what's wrong.
I'm thinking there's more to the story.
Yeah, well, I'm
thinking he ran low on oil.
Yeah, I'm gonna find out as soon as I bust it open.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard. Kind of hard to know without taking the muffler off. Well, actually, no. Wait, it's not even. You won't even be able to find. You would have to take the head off.
Yeah, it's a full 4-stroke. I'm just gonna have to dismantle the whole thing. That's what's gonna, especially because it's an inverter. If it was just a regular old generator, I could just easily take off the side cover, but because it's an inverter, I got to completely take the case apart just to have even access to look at the engine.
That's where you make your money.
I know, on inverters. Yep. I told him, I said minimum $250, man. I charge a minimum $100 just to clean a carburetor on an inverter.
$100 to clean a carb on an inverter?
On an inverter.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's not something you can do simple. You know, it's not just 2 bolts, take off the carburetor.
No, I'd have to agree. I'd have to agree,
and then also you gotta take off that little motor on the inverters, and you gotta put that spring back in. I mean, it's a pain in the ass on an inverter.
That's true.
So
no, I agree. I agree with the covers. I was just gonna say I agree with like taking apart the covers. They're so labor intensive just to get to the carburetor. So you could charge them by your hourly rate or the rate of how long it'll take you, but
and it's also clean it, like when a customer calls me and says, "Hey, I got a generator I want you to look at. What do you charge to look at it?" And I always ask them right off the top of the first question I always ask is it a generator or is it an inverter? They're two totally different animals.
Right.
And they're like, "Oh, it's an inverter." I'm like, "Okay, yes, that's going to be about a minimum $100."
That's good.
But yeah, now see, this is one of the things you made a video the other day about, people taking on stuff that, be sure like this with the dipstick busted. This would be something that, if you don't know how to do it, you shouldn't really be, taking apart an inverter Honda engine, because it's like a $900 generator or an inverter.
Right. Yeah.
And for all I know, it's really confusing that a piece of plastic could be stopping up this whole engine, but it's a mystery. I'm intrigued. I want to do it. I told the guy I might not be able to fix it. There might be something wrong with it, but I want to see what's up.
I want to see what's up too. I want to see what's going on with it.
We're going to see that in a future video. So,
right on. Small Engine Doc asks, how much should you charge to install carburetor on a 2 and 4 cycle? It depends, really. I think you answered that before, Andrew, right? Like it depends on the brand. Like generator versus inverter, it depends.
If it's an inverter, that's minimum $100. But most of the time, it's gonna take you less than an hour to do a carburetor. So you just charge minimum hour. I always charge a minimum hour if I'm gonna work on something.
Right.
If it takes me 10 minutes to work on it, I don't care. It's a minimum hour.
Yeah, like if you find Small Engine Doc, if you find your hourly rate, just go based off of how long it takes you. If you charge $60 an hour and it takes you an hour to take the carb off and install a carb and test it, it takes you an hour, charge them $60 for the hour of your time plus part. So
even if it takes you an hour and 20 minutes, it's still just charge them an hour.
Right. Yeah.
Because in my opinion, you can't charge for incompetence.
Yeah, that 20 minutes is basically.
If I'm bored and it takes me 3 hours to do a carburetor, I'm not going to charge for 3 hours worth of work because I got bored. Yeah,
or if you're taking breaks, yeah.
Or if I didn't understand it, like it's the first time I ever worked on it, I'm not going to charge them 2 hours because I had to figure out what to do. I'm going to charge them, a minimum hour because I didn't know what to do. Why should they pay?
You don't charge them for the. Yeah, you don't charge them for the time that you waste researching how to remove the carb. You actually charge them for the time that you physically are working with your hands, removing and installing.
Well, it's like even then, if you don't understand what you're doing and you have to remove it all, you gotta use your brain a little bit too. You gotta figure out, should I have taken 2 hours to do this? No, I shouldn't have, or yes, I could have.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because the next time it would only take you an hour or 45 minutes. So
right, or less, or even 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So Brandon is on here. How you doing, Brandon? BS Small Engines.
We got any more questions in the chat? I could only see the StreamYard. I'm not on YouTube anymore.
Yeah, I'll pull them up if there's a question. If anybody has a question, we can pull them up here. If any of you want to join on here, we got the
And I'm gonna mute the mic for a second.
Mini Bike Garage says, "What's your experience with Duramax engines?"
Duramax, that's a Walmart brand, right?
Yeah,
That and Black Max. Black Max is also a Walmart brand.
If I
like
understand
them
correctly, those are those blue ones, and I think Bruce Pender was working on one before.
They're pretty easy, and you get the
Bruce
parts
Pender
pretty
was
cheap.
working on them. Yeah, but I would honestly run a Predator over a Duramax, but those are just that's just my opinion. I'm sure they're made by the same manufacturer, Lawson or something like that.
Yeah, probably are. They're both cheap. They're both knockoffs.
Brandon says, "Hey Phil, I've been using those Icon screwdrivers a lot." Right on. That's good. Yeah, I haven't used Icon tools. I haven't bought any Icon tools, surprisingly, but I just have all the screwdrivers I need. I have so many screwdrivers that as soon as one breaks, then you can just shave it off. And as long as it's a flathead, you can just shave off the end.
That was your first giveaway that you did.
Yeah, the set.
For the Icon.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll do like a 10,000 subscriber giveaway. I don't know what I'd give away. It would have to be something good.
Right.
I mean, if people are giving away stickers, I might have to, and I gave away an Icon screwdriver set. It's got to be something
Yeah, that was like
nice.
what? That's like a $50 set, though.
It is, yeah. And I gave away 2 of them. That was the whole surprise. There was 2. All right. All right. A phone call you got to jump on to. Andy Brooks says that generator I charge $60 to change pull rope. Pain in the behind. Yeah, I'm serious. Some of these like on these inverters, these machines, you can't just charge your basic rate. So if you charge like $40 to clean a carburetor, well, sometimes you can't charge $40 for a carb clean because it takes you longer to take that carburetor out, clean it, put it back together, test it. It takes you longer, and so you can't charge your flat rate. You have to charge an hourly rate. So it just depends. Small Engine Doc asks, did you guys use certain distributors for parts? Yeah, so I use Power Distributors for all my Briggs & Stratton, Oregon parts, Kohler parts. And then I've used Amazon for other type of parts. I've used Amazon to order, I'll be honest, Chinese parts. I've used Amazon to order Kohler, Craftsman, AYP parts. So Amazon's a good place. Discount Online Parts is good. Pro Parts Direct is good. They mainly stock a lot of different brands, so check them out as well. Yeah, Brandon, I saw they did a Tecton giveaway. I think I was late on it, or I did see it, but I think I was late. So Brandon says $65 an hour here, plus supplies, parts. Yep. How you doing, T-Bone? T-Bone, I love your fishing videos. I'm not gonna lie. I actually want to go fishing after this. It's 5:09 here, so go to a local lake here called Fish Lake and go fishing out there. But love the boat, love the videos. So I enjoy that. But 4-pound test line. I think I'll remember that for quite some time now. Andy Brooks says, is it hard to get Power Distributors? I have RBI Corp in Georgia for my Oregon parts. I don't think so. Oh, my audio's starting to get real scratchy. Am I getting too close to the mic? Is that what it was?
Hey, what happened to the audio?
Is it my audio?
Oh, it sounds better now, a lot better.
All right, let me see if I can fix it, but sounds good on my end.
No, it sounds good now. It sounds good now, just like 5 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
Or 5 seconds, whatever.
Oh, Man of Steel is on here. Okay, Matt says I gotta head out. My audio's skipping in and out. See you later. All right, take care, Matt. Man of Steel is on here. We've been doing good. How are you been? And if I remember correctly, it was David. Hopefully I did not get your name wrong, but I think it was David, right? Man of Steel.
Hey, Phil, did you ever get a hold of that one guest I was texting you about?
Oh, Lawnmower Lady?
Yeah.
I never. Well, I left a comment on her video and she responded, but I never invited her to a podcast, but I will. I'll have to.
Yeah, because she's one of the only females I've ever seen do this work.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. You don't see a lot of women or females doing small engine repair. I was surprised. I'm like, oh wow, I didn't even know about this person.
I know. I just found it randomly in my recommended, so I thought I'd shoot you. Hey, let's. For anybody in the chat too, if you guys want, look up the Lawnmower Lady. She's a lady that does the small engine repair business. One of the only ones on YouTube I found.
Yeah, I've never seen it until you mentioned her, Andrew. So I had to check her out. I am subscribed to her. So
she does really good videos too. She's detailed. She knows what she's talking about too. So
she knows her stuff. That's for sure. Yeah.
Hey Phil, I got a question for you. What's your thoughts on stabilizer? I know it's a hot topic in our industry, in our community right now.
Honestly, I don't have to worry about stabilizer in my city because we have ethanol-free fuel. We have access to it. We have like 10 pumps in our city that have ethanol-free.
That's
and I recommend
you live near water.
Yeah. What?
You live near water.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they want boats and jet skis and anything that goes in the water to have ethanol-free fuel.
Oh, exactly. And that's
like me, I'm in the desert. I don't have access to it.
Right. So your fuel stations don't stock it?
Yeah, but I'm one of those people who don't recommend ever using it.
Ethanol-free fuel?
No, using stabilizer.
Oh, stabilizer. Okay. Yeah.
Regardless if you're using it or not, I just know it's causing a big stink in our community.
Yeah, there's a lot of debate if it's snake oil or not. I'll be honest, like I don't know if it's true or not, if it actually worked, but I've literally taken seafoam and added it to a bad tank of gas inside this lawnmower, and it went from not starting to starting and dying to then starting and surging. So that seafoam must have cleared what the debris or whatever debris was in that carburetor. I don't know if it was the seafoam. I don't know what it could have been, but I added seafoam to it. It went from no starting to starting, and then to starting and dying, and then to starting and surging. So
there's also really
they
good
have their advantages. What are they?
I don't know if you ever heard of it, but have you heard of AMSOIL Power Foam?
No.
It's like a starting fluid, but it's a foam. And if you could get the engine to start a little bit and you can get it to run on it, it actually cleans it out. I've got 1 or 2 engines actually just running on just power foam and running again, like you said, with seafoam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I enjoy using seafoam. I use it to I use it in my car, and I use it in my car oil. I've cleaned my intake out I've did the seafoam intake treatment where it smokes a bunch. I've done that. I love seafoam. Now there's so many stabilizers out there.
Advertise itself as a stabilizer though.
A fuel stabilizer?
Yeah, it doesn't advertise itself as that.
Yeah, exactly. It advertises itself as a fuel conditioner.
Yeah.
So it conditions the fuel. Yeah.
Because most time they're like, oh man, last year I put stable in it, and this year it's not running. And when I go to good it, man, it's like slime just oozing out of it.
Because they add so much to it.
I know, and that's why it's like, that's why anytime my customers always ask me, do I recommend it? I always tell them no. Because you'll try to educate them, say, hey, if you get it, just follow the instructions, and they'll never do it. So I just tell them, no, the best thing you could do is drain all the gas out of it.
Right.
If you're going to store it, I don't care what it takes, just drain the gas out of it.
Did you see my video of my equipment starting after 5 months sitting with no stabilizer? It sat with ethanol-free fuel for 5 months, and all of them started. It maybe took a while. It maybe took a while, but they all started, and none of them surged.
Yeah, even with ethanol-free fuel, I still, you should just drain the fuel out,
Yeah. I always say, like, if you have a metal tank, drain the fuel for sure. If you have a plastic tank, you can, fill it with 3/4 full of ethanol-free fuel and run it, and then maybe add a little bit of seafoam. It don't matter, but you should be good for at least 4 or 5 months before. But I always recommend starting your machine if you're going to leave gas in it. Start your machine every month and kind of cycle it through and just make sure it's working correctly. But like you said, the easiest method is just to drain the fuel completely, so you don't have to even start them. So, but
like you said, you just found that lawnmower that's been sitting forever, that riding lawnmower. I mean, they drained all the fuel out of it, and everything was like pristine on it.
Right.
That's because they knew how to store it. Imagine if that same thing, even sitting for that long with ethanol-free fuel and some stabilizer in there or whatever, it would have still been pretty nasty.
Yeah, exactly.
They stored that riding mower that way. You were able to. I see your community post about it. How proud of the people you were for storing it.
Yeah, but I think literally I think all these stabilizers are alcohol based. Am I correct on that? I think they're all contain alcohol,
which is ethanol.
Yeah, which is ethanol. So if you think about it, it's literally taking ethanol-free fuel and adding it to your gas tank. I don't know about stable though, but I don't know all the ingredients that they put into these chemicals to make them run.
Made that video on a stable car cleaner, and I was like, oh no. Yeah, give me a second.
All right, T-Bone, sounds good. You take care. Have a great day. What, are you going over some mountains right now, Andrew?
Hey, have you used that stable yet? That car cleaner?
Yeah, I have. It actually works great. I mean, I don't like the container itself, like the size of it, because I feel like if you buy Gumout or if you buy B12 or if you buy Briggs & Stratton carburetor cleaner, you get more for the same, if not cheaper price. So Stable's a little bit expensive. You don't get much out of it. So I'm not going to order it again, but it works as like any carb cleaner out there. So,
or anyone in the chat, I hate to say it, but the SuperTech, the Walmart brand carb cleaner, actually works really good.
What brand? SuperTech?
Yeah, just the generic Walmart brand.
I've never seen it. I'll have to look at it.
Yeah, go to Walmart. They sell everything there.
I know like some Walmarts don't stock what others stock, so I'll have to see if my Walmart carries it. But
someone the other day told me that they're using brake cleaner to clean carburetors, and I don't recommend that.
Why don't you recommend brake cleaner?
Because brake cleaner has it depends on if it's chlorinated or not. Has chemicals in it that dissolve brass. And that's what your jet and your emulsion tube and your adjusting knobs are made out of.
Isn't there a brake cleaner that's not chlorinated?
Yeah, O'Reilly's makes the best brake cleaner, but I still, if you're cleaning a carburetor, use carb cleaner.
Right, that's what it's there for. Yeah, that's why they made it.
Because if you just want to protect that brass, that's the only problem why you don't use brake cleaners. It makes that brass corrosive.
Yeah.
And that little jet hole is so small, just a little bit of corrosion from the brake cleaner, and you're like, dude, it was running a month ago. Why is it not running no more?
Yeah. Let's see. Andy Brooks says, "How do you guys have time to use ultrasonic cleaners? I don't have time for it to heat up and clean 20 minutes. I like to get them done and move on, especially on two-stroke. I have about 40 of them to do." I honestly have my...
You're killing it then.
Yeah, right.
I'm not even that busy. Shoot, where you at?
40 of them. 40 a day. Easy money.
It depends on the carburetor. I mean, because what do you got to say, Phil? Because I say it's the best way to do it.
I keep my ultrasonic cleaner plugged and heated all the time. And I know people are like, well, what about the heating element? It's going to go out prematurely. Guys, I've had mine for a year. And I turn it off sometimes when I know I'm going on vacation. But I keep mine because I keep mine on because I know I'm going to be cleaning carburetors every day. So I keep mine on, heated at 60 Celsius. Yeah, 60 Celsius all the time. And when I need to use it, I throw it in the basket, clean it, run it for 15 minutes. I don't even run my ultrasonic cleaner for 30 anymore. I run it for 15, take it out, blow it out, put it back together, and move on. So
I think you're talking more about the wait time of pushing the timer and starting it. But I hate to say it, because especially on those two-stroke carburetors, there's such small little details. Like, you can't get in there with the tool and clean them, but the ultrasonic cleaner can.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, if you have to, what you do is you make 3 or 4 workstations. You take one off, throw one in the ultrasonic cleaner, and then start dismantling the other one, getting it ready to throw that one in.
Yeah, or dismantle all of them, have the parts separated in each basket, and throw them all in there.
All at once, yeah. But
I think there's a difference when you clean a carburetor by hand with spray and wire versus soaking it or running it through an ultrasonic cleaner. Well, you're basically soaking it while running it through the ultrasonic cleaner. So there's a difference. Like, you won't be able to get, like Andrew said, through all the ports when you do it by hand. So sometimes
especially
it is an advantage.
On a big four-stroke carburetor, you could take those cleaning, those pipe cleaners, get every single port cleaned out on a 4-stroke. But on a 2-stroke, you got to hit it with the cleaner, man, especially at the high temperatures, especially because on 2-strokes, they have that oil, and that oil has a sticky buildup inside the carburetor if it sits, because the ethanol or the zero ethanol, either way, the gas will evaporate, leaving just the oil residue in it.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, you have to heat that oil up and dissolve it somehow. But my opinion.
Yeah, there's a lot of debate out there even on how to clean carburetors, but it's just clean it the way you.
If you have 40 of them, hire somebody. That's what I'm saying. You're making a killing.
He says I'm in Georgia. Andy says I'm in Georgia. He says all I use on 2-strokes is brake cleaner, no carb cleaner. Brandon says brake cleaner most. He says Brandon says brake cleaner most of the time is acetone. I have used it a bunch of time with good results. I've used brake cleaner before. I just make sure to use brake cleaner and then throw them into the ultrasonic cleaner where it's simple green and they just clean themselves again.
That gets rid of that chemical off that brass though when you do it that way. I'm just saying.
So I'm thinking if you let it dry out, right?
Brake cleaner is meant to dissolve the brake dust, not like carburetor cleaner is it's more like a spray cleaner rather than an acid base to dissolve, stuff. It's just too aggressive for me.
Yeah, Chris says, what are you using in the ultrasonic cleaner, Simple Green? Yeah, I use a 10-to-1, one part Simple Green and then 10 parts of water. And someone said something about only running distilled water. I've never ran distilled water. I've always used tap water or faucet water, whatever you want to call it, through my ultrasonic cleaner, and it works good. So, but 10-to-1 on Simple Green and water. That's what I use.
They say that for the
Oh, you're breaking up,
but
Andrew.
I use Dawn dish soap. That's it. Water. Oh, hang on. Sorry. Water and Dawn dish soap. That's it. That's all I use.
Yeah.
Have you ever accidentally left a carburetor inside an ultrasonic cleaner with Simple Green in it?
Yeah, and it darkens. It darkens the metal.
Oh yeah. That's why I like
I've gotten those results. Yeah, I was gonna say I've gotten those results when I went too heavy with the Simple Green and left it in for 30 minutes. They're just pure black. I mean, they're not pure black, but they're like dark gray.
Yeah. So your idea is really good because Simple Green is amazing as long as you're paying attention and watching it.
Right. Yeah.
But if you're like me and you just want to throw it in the cleaner, I would just use water and a lot of Dawn dish soap. And don't worry, you can't overdo it. It's not going to hurt it. But you can literally run it for like 4 hours and it's not going to hurt the carburetor. But Simple Green is the best thing if you're paying attention to it and you're watching it.
I made the mistake of putting. Yeah, I made the mistake of putting seafoam into my ultrasonic cleaner, and the seafoam fluid just floated on top of the water. So I'm like, that was not a good idea. So don't ever put seafoam in the ultrasonic cleaner with your water. But I wanted to try gold cleaner, like jewelry cleaner for like rings and stuff. Yeah. Sport, we just answered that question, but he says, do you drain it in between every use?
No, I do every 4 carburetors.
Yeah, I usually
it gets too dirty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just look at it. If it looks dirty to me, if I don't want to throw anything in there, I just take it out and replace it.
Because that dirt and debris will end up on top of the carburetor. So before you always take it out, you always kind of shake it.
Yeah. Brandon says, my ultrasonic cleaner just broke. I'm doing it by hand, waiting for the new one to come in. Brandon, did you get a 6-liter from Amazon?
Or do you buy one of those ones made for jewelry or guns? You want to buy the silver one.
I think Brandon just his Harbor Freight one broke. I think that was the case.
Oh yeah, I bought a Harbor Freight one to test it out. Broken one day. One day of use. You have to, if you're doing this for a living and not just cleaning here and there, you have to buy one of those big silver ones.
Oh yeah, I got one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you buy a Harbor Freight one or a gun cleaner one or a jewelry cleaner one, you can clean carburetors in it and it works fantastic, but you'll burn it up in one day. End of story. I mean, I've tried it.
Plastic that disintegrates. That's what I've seen.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, if you're using it for 1 or 2 time use cleaning gun parts or jewelry, great cleaner. But in order to do this business, you have to buy one of them stainless steel ones, like Phil got, I got, Steve Smalledge got. Anybody that does this for a living buys, no matter what size it is, as long as you buy that stainless steel one.
Another annoying thing about those Harbor Freight ones is they only run for like what, 400 seconds at a time?
450 seconds.
Yeah, at a time. That's annoying. You got to go back there and click it again, click it again, and click it again. That's annoying.
And they only come in one size, small.
Yeah, right.
No, they're great cleaners for like jewelry and gun parts. But I've tried it. I ran it for 1 day, and I took it back. And they're like, "Do you want a replacement one?" I was like, "No, I didn't want to come here every single day." I want my money back. Yeah, I'm like, I'll just get something different.
Right.
And don't be fooled. Don't buy that ultrasonic cleaner. They sell that powder. It's no different than Simple Green or Dawn dish soap.
Yeah.
Literally go to the Dollar Tree, buy a thing of Dawn dish soap for $1. That's 2 uses, depending on what size you have.
Brandon says, I use LA Totally Awesome. 1 part awesome, 1 part water. I've never heard of LA Totally Awesome. Is that a
that sounds like a generic dish soap brand.
Oh, like a dollar store?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like,
Matt says, I want an ultrasonic cleaner. You should ask your boss to get one for the shop.
Or Matt, I mean, they have a great one. Don't skip out. You might as well pay the extra like $50 and get a little bit bigger one. But they do sell, I think, like a $90 stainless steel one. But the best you're going to clean is 2-stroke carburetors only. You can't get a 4-stroke in there.
Yeah, it'll stick out.
My friend, because matter of fact, like Andy, what you should do is, since you have so many 2-strokes, you should buy like 5 ultrasonic cleaners and put 5 carburetors in there. Run them, or buy that big one Steve has, where you can fit a whole engine in there.
What was it? A 15 or a 30 liter?
I don't know. That thing was massive. I was like, dude, I think
that's a little excessive. Like, what would you use that for?
It was cool to see it though.
What would you ultrasonic clean? A crankshaft or a camshaft in that thing?
Imagine putting a whole chainsaw in there, making it look brand new.
I think that would ruin your... Nah. Well, that's what parts washers are for.
Oh, no, I want to get a heated, parts washer. Me and my friend were trying to convert a dishwasher into making one, but it's not working out too good.
A dishwasher into a parts washer?
Yeah. Any more questions? Especially about ultrasonic cleaners. I love them. They're my,
Sport Tuttle says, I've been using Dawn too. I never had a problem.
Yep, Dawn's the best.
Brandon says, the first one was a Hazard Freight. Lasted for 6 months. Mine got used every day. Yeah, my buddy Nate at Ace Hardware, he works there now as a mechanic. He took over my position. He convinced the boss to buy a Harbor Freight ultrasonic cleaner. It lasted him 4 months. And the thing disintegrated. Wow. I don't know why. The plastic melted, and then it wouldn't heat up. And then he just threw it in the garbage. And then the boss finally bought him the 6-liter. So they got a good one in the shop now. But
mine barely lasted 4 hours.
Jamie O says, nice topic, gentlemen. Thank you.
Yeah.
Brandon says, I've been doing this for 10 years full-time. Never had one until this one. Oh, you'll love it. It's a time saver. It's a time saver for sure. Like I've cleaned carbs by hand. Like 3 times you clean the carburetor and it still surges on you, and then you throw it in the ultrasonic cleaner. It cleans every little single port and the thing runs correctly. I don't know. It's a magic little bath.
It makes a difference in this, I love it. And it's plus once you put the carburetor in there, you can go back to the machine and start cleaning up, getting ready, getting your fuel line ready, getting everything ready for when it's out, whatever else you got to do. Your spark plug, you can change your spark plug while you're doing it. You got 15, 30 minutes, whatever in there. And then you go and now you're going to change your oil. Start changing your oil, while you're waiting. You don't have to just sit and twiddle your thumbs.
Yeah, that's what I do. I do the whole rest of the tune-up on the mower while the carburetor's cleaning in the ultrasonic cleaner. You got 15 minutes to wait. Might as well change the oil, air filter, spark plug. So all the easy stuff.
Make sure if anyone's using an ultrasonic cleaner, as soon as you pull it out, you remember that was in water. Engines don't run on water. You have to blow it out with compressed air, every single hole.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
Yeah. If not, also you'll get, especially if you're not using distilled water, you'll get calcium buildup in your carburetor inside your engine. So make sure that thing is bone dry with an air gun.
Yeah. Andy Burke says, I work 8 to 1 at a shop. Then I have 4 shops that give me 2 strokes to work on. That's why I'm always working on 2 strokes.
I feel bad.
You got some shops.
I hate 2-stroke.
Do they give you the crappy weed eaters, like the weed eater brands and the Pull-In Pros and the Mac chainsaws? I would hate to only work on 2 strokes. That would bore me to death.
I got a funny story about weed eater brand weed eaters. Customer brought me in one, and I said, "Hey, does this weed eater have sentimental value?" And he goes, "No, not really. I just need it fixed." I said, "Okay." So what I did was I went to the Walmart. I bought a brand new one. And then I said, "Come and pick it up." I put it together, and he goes, "Wow, this looks brand new." It is. I said, $69. And he goes, "Why didn't you just fix the old one?" I'm like, "Because it would have cost me more to fix the old one than it is just to buy a new one. Here you go."
Right. No, I agree. That's great. I should do that. I should do that one day. That's funny.
And then
it's true.
Happy it worked. It worked.
Yeah.
But so what I ended up doing though was I ended up changing just the diaphragm and the weed eater that I fixed up, and then I sold it for $30. So I made a $30 profit.
Yeah.
Because I didn't make a profit off that customer. I just charged them what the price of a brand new weed eater was.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes you try to tell them, hey, you got a brand new one. They're like, And it's like, I mean, unless they're like, hey, this is my great granddaddy's, then you're like, okay, I'll fix it.
Yeah, this saw has been, I'm the third generation of owning this saw. I've heard that before. I'm like, whoa. And it's like some Steel 031. I'm like, oh man, this thing sucks, but I'll work on it. You know, the bill was like $200, but they still wanted it fixed. Like, okay, I'll fix it for you.
Bill, you're like, oh, it's a McCulloch. I'll fix it all day long.
I said, I'll send every Mac chainsaw I'll send to you, Andrew.
Especially the mini ones.
Oh, don't get me started. We've already been through that.
Okay, so I have to Google this address and go to this new job. Well, let's see what this is. Oh, yes, I have. I think it's more common than you believe.
Yeah, most of the time you can upsell it to a tune-up too. So like if it's out of gas, more than likely, unless like they ran out of fuel and they didn't notice it, but most of the time like machines come in out of gas because they drain the fuel for the winter time, like on a mower. So they usually say, hey, this thing won't start and it's been out of gas. And then you're like, okay, well, when's the last time it's been serviced? You know, we can put gas in it and start it and it'll run right. But we recommend this because, you know, look at your oil condition, look at your air filter, spark plug's dirty. So,
hey, here's a question I got for you, Phil, because I don't think you ever talked about it. But like with his question here, so when a customer brings me something, or before I get off, because I got to get off here in a second to go find this address. Mm-hmm. But when a customer brings something in or to you, do you inspect it right then and there, or do you just write down what they say, take their word on it, and put it in the back? Because like if someone comes in and says, hey, take a look at this, I'll go out there first and look at it to give them a quick estimate. And then that's how I'll notice, oh, it's out of gas. So I'll try putting a little gas in there, start it. If it starts, hey, it was just out of gas. You want me to do an oil change or whatever? But sometimes I don't know how you do it. Do you just take it and then take their word on it, or just take it and then I'll look at it when I get a chance?
So this varies.
Every single item, at least somewhat, before I take it.
That's what I do too. I try to inspect it. Sometimes it's hard because, you know, if you go to pick up a machine, the customer it's out in the front yard, just pick it up. I'm not home. You go and pick it up, and all they just say won't start. Well, you can attempt to start it. If it's a push mower with a pull start, you can attempt to start it, check to make sure there's oil, check to make sure there's gas, and attempt to start it. And if it starts and runs great, then they're doing something wrong. Especially I see a lot on chainsaws. People flood out their chainsaws because they put it on choke and try to start it on choke like 50 times. And they end up flooding their chainsaw. They just don't know how to start the chainsaw. So like people would bring me a chainsaw and say, I can't get this thing to start or run correctly. And then I start it in front of them and it runs real smooth. And I'm like, okay, well, it was just the way you were starting it. And they're like, oh, okay, well, that way, in that moment, I can say, well, you know, do you want this service? Do you want me to look at it? Do you still want me to, you know, clean your air, change your air filter, and kind of upsell? If they say, oh, no, you know, I just wanted it started, I got some cutting to do right now, then they're on their way. So there's no charge. I don't charge for showing them how to start it. But if it's like,
also like, if you just take something too, now you're playing a guessing game because you don't even know where to start. You know?
Yeah, exactly. The hard part is,
what?
Oh, I was just going to say the hard thing is when a riding mower won't start. Like, let's just say it's a dead battery or there's an actual electrical issue which causing it to not start. Then, okay, then, yeah, you have to take it in and diagnose it, you know. And it could be something simple as the safety switch is gone or something. So, but yeah, I don't charge if it's just out of gas and I put gas in it and it starts, or they're starting it incorrectly and I show them how to start correctly. So,
but to be honest, Sport Turtle, that is way more common than you believe.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's been times where people's brought me stuff and I'm like, okay, and I go to start it and it starts right up and it's running fine, not even surging. They're like, well, just 5 minutes ago, that thing wouldn't run. I'm like, well, if it does it again, bring it back. Because we can't diagnose something if it's running correctly.
Right.
We can't fix something that's not broken.
Yeah, the thing is also you can't like if they bring it in and say, well, it only dies when it's under load. Well, if there's no snow on the ground, how are you supposed to test it under load, right? So you're gonna have to tell the client to bring it back when it snows, or bring it back when the grass is actually growing out there to test the lawnmower. So sometimes it also varies on the season. So
any more questions?
Let's see. Mowers and Blower says send the Craftsman chainsaws to David. Matt says, Phil, I had a machine come in that didn't start. I had to do a tune-up and it started right up. Sometimes all they need is a low oil sensor. Yeah. Or a clogged air filter, but usually they start but run real rough with an air filter clog. Did you see that air filter that I pulled out? Oh yeah, I sent you a text of the one I had before. It reminded me. As soon as you showed that, I was like, "Oh, geez." That was the worst one I've ever come across. I've come across some really soaked, oily ones, but to the extent of being oily and full of grass and grass clippings, it was like that thick, full of grass. I know. Clippings. I had but yours was the paper one, so that was kind of worse. Mine was just that foam one. But as soon as I took that off and put a brand new foam one in, it ran fine. But the oily one, that's because they're overfilling it with oil and the blowback from the PVC valve or whatever. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've had that happen. You check the oil level and it's like twice as much in there. Oh yeah. I've had that one time and I'm like, who changed the oil on? Oh, my younger grandson was trying to change the oil on. I'm like, did he actually remove the old oil or did he just pour on top of this one? Because it looks like you got twice as much in there. So it's kind of funny. I see a lot of that on the never change oil, just add. Oh man, no. Have you seen those? Like those? And they're like, well, I just added oil, and I'm like, oh my goodness, Oh, my favorite thing before I go, one more thing I want to say before I go. My favorite thing is when you get them, the Kohlers, especially the Kohlers, the ones that say guaranteed to start. Well, if they're so guaranteed to start, why are they in my shop? Have you ever seen those? I have that on my Toro. It says guaranteed to start right in the front. Yeah, and it took 30 pulls to start this season. It's like, yeah, it's guaranteed one day after someone fixes it. Yeah, right. Any tips on how to find old machines? Best thing to do, my opinion. Phil has another one with the neighborhood app, which isn't hot in my area. No one uses that here. But my opinion is Facebook Marketplace or yard sales. But Phil has a neighborhood app that he uses. Craigslist, Nextdoor, Facebook Marketplace. Those Nextdoor, that's what it's called. That's the app. Yeah. That app I tried. No one uses it in my area. Yeah, it varies. Facebook Marketplace, that's great. Yeah, I know a guy that makes like 25 to 30K a year just from Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist just by flipping machines. And he works a 9 to 5 and it's not even related to small engines. And he makes 25 to 30 grand from flipping machines. So. Yeah, and it doesn't hurt also if you're driving around or riding your bike or walking around and you look in someone's yard and you see like a lawnmower that obviously has never been touched in years and years. I mean, right now, be careful with the pandemic. I don't know, but it doesn't hurt to go knock on the door and say, hey, do you want to do something with that old mower? Most of the time, they'll probably say, oh, yeah, take that thing. Please, get rid of it. Yeah, exactly, because they have no way of getting it to the dump. So most of the time, just driving by, you might see, oh, look, there's like 10 lawnmowers in that yard. I wonder what's going on. And you could ask them, hey, what's up with those lawnmowers? I'm just curious. And they could be like, yeah, dude, $10 takes them all. And or right. Like, hey, I only want to sell this one. And I'm like, well, there's one right there for you. I mean, so however, if you see something, I mean, the worst they're going to do is slam the door in your face. But, just ask them, hey, do you want to get rid of that? As long as you be nice about it, So. And be safe, with the pandemic.
It's hard to.
Right. Yeah. Just
Go to someone's
knock and
door.
step back.
Yep.
Yep.
But I mean, I've had people. I've done that before. I drove by, saw a riding lawnmower, and went and knocked on the door, and they said, "Hey, if you get rid of it, man, it's yours." I forgot that thing was in my yard because it had weeds growing around it and stuff. And especially here, unlike Phil has a cooler climate, but in mine, if anything sits, the tires are destroyed.
Oh, they're all cracky.
Yeah, destroyed. The heat destroys them. Is there a way to flip this? Yeah, because see, I'm in the desert. That's what it looks like everywhere. Like there's no grass, just cactuses.
Wow. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like you work on a lot of chainsaws, you work on a lot of pressure washers, generators, things that we still work on them here. But
see, it's like those right there, those tumbleweeds. People use lawnmowers, push lawnmowers to cut those down too. But the problem is,
dull out their
you got a lot of rocks.
Yeah, they dull out their blades real quick.
Hey, you don't need a blade to chop down something that's dead. Okay, man. Hey, I gotta go. I'll hit you guys up later. Be good.
Yeah, we'll be ending this shortly. We'll be ending this shortly, anyways. But all right, take care, Andy. Yeah, we'll be cutting this here short. I think we're gonna get onto this last one by Sport Title. I'm gonna read it. It says I bought a Honda 5000 generator yesterday for $40. I just needed a spark plug and glad it was from a large business. If it was from an individual, I would have felt bad for them. Hey, sometimes, look, if you buy something real cheap from somebody, say it's a John Deere riding mower and they don't know how to start it, or they don't know what's wrong with it, and they just sell it to you for $100, and you turn around and flip it for $1,200, sell it for $1,200. Yeah, there's no way to feel bad. Some people don't know how to repair, machines. Like I've sold a vehicle for less than its value because I didn't know what was wrong with it. And I'm sure someone fixed it real like this and sold it. So there's no reason of feeling bad, even if you get a sweet deal. Like my most profitable one was it was a $5. I bought a whole package deal, but it was a $5 edger, like an Edger Pro or something like that they use for concrete edging. I bought it for $5 and I sold it for $1,000. So I made $995 profit the next day. The guy didn't know what it was. It was his uncle's, and his uncle was in the landscape industry. His uncle, I don't know what happened to him, but he sold it to me for $5. I bought this whole set from him from $25 with all these machines, and that was one of them. And I sold it. I found what it was, tested it, made sure it worked, and some guy bought it off me the next day. So did I feel bad? Not really. I mean, these things are rare, and I think we should kind of cherish these moments to where we make some good profit. But yeah. So that'll wrap up today's live Q&A. I know we didn't have a lot, but we had some good questions on here, good people on here. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, this has been Phil with Phil Small Engine Nation. This has been the ninth live Q&A. I hope that everybody smashes the like button upon leaving, guys. I would highly appreciate that. Hit the like button before you leave. And if you're watching this as a replay, make sure you do hit the like button. We would highly appreciate that as well. Again, this has been Phil with Phil Small Engine Nation. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care, Sport Tunnel. Take care, Matt Small Engines, Rich Mowers and Blowers, Brandon BS, Andy Brooks, and everybody else that is in the chat or watching right now. Have a great day, guys. I will see you guys in the next live stream.